Hello my beautiful viewers on my channel, James Higgins Open World. Well, it's 10 to 7. What this is time paradoxes. I thought we'd talk about time travel and time paradoxes and time travel films and the inconsistencies with the majority of them. Let's start very quickly with Back to the Future, which is one of my favourite time travel films of all time, right? It's fantastic. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. 3 films, fantastic. But the problem with Back to the Future is, right, the main character, played by Michael J. Fox, plays a character called Marty McFly, and you got Doc Brown, played by another actor, I can't remember his name. Let me know in the comments. Right, the Doc gets killed. He's made a time machine out of a DeLorean, right? And it's one of the coolest time machines, film time machines ever. You know, really is, right? Anyway, he steals some plutonium off these terrorists, which he uses to power the time machine. He puts one into the machine with his radiation suit on, right? And they come back, because he gave him a bomb made out of pinball machines, pinball bits, right? Obviously, you know. Anyway, Marty jumps in the time machine. Alright, he gets up to 88 miles per hour and travels back in time to 1955, right? And then what he does, I'm cutting this down, right? Then what he does, he accidentally interferes with his father, who gets knocked over by his granddad. Instead, Marty gets knocked over by his granddad, right? Now, at this point, right, is where a new timeline is formed, basically, because he's interfered with his mum and dad meeting up, right? So the whole premise of the film is him trying to get his mum and dad back together, right? So at one point, he has to scare his dad with this radiation suit, pretending he's Darth Vader. And so at that point, his dad writes a book about it, right? Makes a lot of money, right? So creates a new timeline, right? And his dad, Biff, who's the bad guy in it, he knocks Biff out, right? So Biff ends up being a car cleaner. Who in the timeline Marty came from, he was a boss who couldn't read and write, basically, right? And so he gets his mum and dad back together. But the problem with that is, this is where, right, it's a time paradox would have occurred in reality. Because basically, if he'd have created a new timeline like that, right, where his dad's famous, wrote a book, blah, 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 right, that if his mother and father hadn't conceived Marty and his brother and sister at the exact point in history, right, he wouldn't have existed, because it would have been a different sperm, so he would have been a different person. Same with his sister, same with his brother. So it creates a paradox. That's the problem with Back to the Future, really, right? Even if it created a separate timeline, right, which he did, there's a separate timeline. The old timeline would have still been there, where Marty would have gone missing. His parents would have, where's he gone? Where's he gone? Because it had created, some people say, a parallel timeline. 2 parallel versions of 1985, right? There was another time travel, they explored this, where the main character changed the timeline of his timeline, and his son, when he got back, his son was missing. In fact, he had a daughter, right? And his wife didn't want him to change, because she knew he was a time traveller, because his daughter would have been missing. So he changed it and his son was back, but his daughter was missing. You see what I'm saying? Right? There's paradox. It's called the grandfather paradox. If you go back in time, right, into this, travelling back in time is dangerous beyond belief, because you could alter loads of events, the butterfly effect. Like if you met your parents before they conceived you, you could alter that, And if that's the case, you didn't conceive you, how could you have gone back in time? You understand what I'm saying? It's called the grandfather paradox. But then what you get is, right, these alleged time travelers from the future, right? You go back, right, to 2019, right, and do some research on this. I have never, ever, ever found one alleged time traveller from the future who predicted COVID. Never seen one. And the other thing I've noticed with all these alleged time travellers from the futures, right, all these alleged time travellers from the future is, they all tell different stories. They all have different versions of the future. I mean, so you ask yourself, you can't all be right. If there's only one version of the future, or are they all parallel universes that they've come from? You see what I'm saying? You know, I do know for a fact that you can, if you can travel to the speed of light, right, and you have a kid, you say 30, you can travel to the speed of light and go speed of light, you could end up younger than your own son. You know, or you could even outlive your own son, because time would pass more slowly for you on the spaceship than it would on Earth. Now they're proving that with clocks, by seconds, milliseconds, that is right. So a lot of these alleged time travellers, I've never seen one, and I'm being honest, ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen one who predicted COVID, not one. You know, there's one guy on the internet at the moment, right, allegedly in 2027, and everybody's gone. You know, all the birds have gone, all humanity's gone, and he's there on his own, right? And you watch them videos, some of them videos, I only watched it briefly, right? You watch them videos, right, of his, right, this guy, right? All the power's still on, right? All the power's still on. There's no massive amounts of plants that have grown over buildings. Right? The internet's still working. And he's supposed to be the only one on Earth. Right? But so that's a load of bullshit. Because there is software now. People wonder how he's doing it. Some people reckon he did all these videos in the first lockdown when we weren't allowed out, which is could have done. Or the other one is, I've seen software now which can take people out of videos and photos. So we might be using that. But what have you. So that particular one, I don't buy it all. Because they all contradict themselves, these alleged time travellers. They all do. You know. I mean, it's like these aliens. You've got the big eyes and this, that and the other, the greys. Allegedly, some people say that they're us from the future because we've been messing about genetically. Now, is that true? Who knows? But, yeah. But they all... I've never found one who, before COVID, that predicted COVID. Never found one. Not one. So the majority of these time travel films just contradict themselves. You know, you really do. It's like some people would love to go back and kill Hitler. But if you went back and killed Hitler, you don't know what the hell you would, what finger you would come back to, or even if you existed. Because if your parents don't conceive you, how can you exist? And if that's the case, how can you go back and kill Hitler? The paradox again. Like a safety net at the time, I think, that God created. So you can't change the past. Anyway, that's just my views on time travel. I love time travel. I want a specific event can send you off into a different thing, you know. It's like my mate was like a brother to me. I met him in Norwich Library in 1993. If I hadn't gone in Norwich Library that day, I wouldn't have met him. And if he hadn't gone in Norwich Library, I wouldn't have met him, or he wouldn't have met me. and it sent me off in a totally different thingy. Strange. I love all time travel. I mean, maybe some of these alleged time travelers are true, but I don't know. But you can't all be right, because the vast majority of them just contradict each other all the time. Oh, it's this future. That one I just told you about, 2027, when there's nobody left but this one particular guy. Right? What have you. And allegedly he leaves things which people here can find. That's a bit sus, isn't it? If you're in 2027, everybody's gone, and you're picking something out of a shop, leaving it there, how's that particular object travelling back in time to here? So it's just a bloody con. He's obviously got that software where he can take people out, in my opinion. Or he's filmed it in lockdown. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode of just talking about paradoxes and everything like that. And I'll see you on the next one.